But for now, we're going to move on to the Tennessee Titans, who, like I said earlier, it was looking like they were going to run away with the division with Carson Wentz and Quentin Nelson out. But still, I mean, they've had a hell of an offseason. They make the unexpected trade for Julio Jones, which, I mean, it was just a wow move. It's a wow move. It's a move that you make as a contender. And now suddenly look at that receiver room. Look at their skill position, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The other storyline, I mean, will Derrick Henry return to 2K yards? We'll see. Did the defense upgrade enough? That's always been a question mark with this team.
Yeah.
New offensive coordinator, offensive line might be a concern. Half the line might be a concern. Right side, specifically. But new offensive coordinator. So, because Arthur Smith got that job with the Falcons. So, I mean, let's break it down a little bit. Let's talk about first, do you think that Derrick Henry will repeat his season last year?
2,000 yards is a lot. But, however, I will say this. The addition of Julio Jones is going to open up the field for him even more.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm a
You
buy
bet
on
your
it.
ass.
I'm a buy on it.
Yeah? 2K.
I am, because you got to understand, too, there's another game this year as well. You're playing.
Oh, that's true.
You're playing 17 games versus 16. So
Even
I think his opportunity there is definitely going to be. I think he's going to do it. Yes, 2,000 yards. Yes, 100%.
Even I tend to forget that there's a 17th game. I'm just so hardwired to believe that there's 16 fucking games.
I know.
So when you put it that way, it's almost like he really kind of should. But, I mean, he's had these heroic runs at the end of seasons, late season, where he's getting 200 yards a game, and he just can't be stopped. I was originally thinking under. It's going to be close. So I'm going to still stick with under.
Okay.
Just because I think that they're going to want to hope that they can reduce a little bit of his touches so that he doesn't wear down. Not that that's been an issue for him, but I mean, it's important to note when you're getting 378 carries in a season, you definitely would like to trim that down by like 50, for real.
Well, I mean, here's another thing, dude. Like, you got to think about it like this. He thrives late in the year, right? But who the hell wants to tackle Derrick Henry 15 weeks into the football season, dude? Like, he's a fucking freight train coming at you.
You know how I would approach this? Given that I think with the Julio addition, and you and I both say this, I think they're going to be a lot more efficient running the ball earlier in the season. I would try to reduce his workload a little bit earlier on, and then, boom, second half, going into playoffs, fuck, I'm cutting him loose.
So go
that's
pass
when he
happy.
thrives anyway.
Go pass happy in the beginning, and then
I mean,
kind
not
of like
even
switch it
necessarily
up.
that. Just like have some more balance. Don't be so run heavy, because the Titans were like 30th in passing attempts, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines. I might have just misworded that, but you get my point. They are not a pass-first offense. That's pretty obvious. They love to run the football, and they should.
Yeah. No, I like the Titans team in general. I think Tannehill's been improving almost every year.
He's very
efficient. Doesn't make many mistakes. With the addition of Julio, and you have AJ Brown, I like Anthony Ferguson. Weirdly enough, I think he's ranked about 17th tight end this year in fantasy. He could be a sleeper option.
By the way, I don't think he's starting right now, but he's going to play plenty. For anyone that is
He's
like
a
wondering,
sleeper guy. Like, he's sneaky. Like, when I watch him in the past 2 seasons, he finds a way to get open.
Yeah, when he's in there, they're looking to use him as a pass catcher.
Yeah.
So right now, if he doesn't start, I just want to say this to the people who were maybe a little cautious.
What, you think that Swaim's going to start?
Yeah, right now he's first on the depth chart.
That's a big mistake.
But I mean, yeah, I agree. But I think they will be used equally, and Ferguson will be the receiving guy. So, Swaim might be in there because they really do preach the run game.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it is. They will probably be used equally.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I like Ferguson.
I actually like Josh Reynolds, too. He actually played really well with the Rams.
He did. Whenever he got a chance to play, I mean...
He played phenomenal.
They got room for a third receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have no attention on him, literally. I mean, A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, and we're touching on receiver rankings, but I know that we already said to people that we're buying Julio as a top 10 receiver.
No doubt about it.
And guess what? Every publication I've seen does not have him anywhere near top 10. So we're saying something that most people don't agree with. But we're saying both of them are going to be top 10. I mean, that might be sort of a bold prediction in itself.
That is a bold prediction.
Most people have A.J. Brown there, but people are a little concerned right now because Julio's not been practicing. I think they're just they're preserving his health.
Yeah, probably.
He has no reason to be practicing right now.
No.
AJ Brown, though, is a little nicked up, and he was hurt last year. He missed a couple games. I'm not worried about either of them. I'm not worried about Derrick Henry's durability either. Like, I know the touches have been crazy high. I think this offense is going to be crazy. Like, they're going to go. They're going to go apeshit.
Yeah.
For real.
They're going to be hard to stop.
They are, and Tannehill has really taken his game to another level. I thought he was cooked. Turns out it was just bad scheme fit. I mean, I always thought he was a gamer, but like, he's turning out to be one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league. I mean, he's not been much of a risk taker, but he can make all throws.
Yeah, he's in my top 10.
He doesn't turn the ball over much.
As well. Yeah.
And we all had him in top 10, and that's not something that's common either.
No.
I'm seeing him more around like the 12, 13 range, everything I read.
I just think he's got a lot of weapons, man. I don't know how he's not a top 10 fantasy
and he
option.
was, what, 7th last year? He was 7th in fantasy points last year.
Yeah.
And he was ultra consistent. So we're pounding at the table a little bit here. We're saying buy the Titans offense. The defense, though, and Mike says this in his notes. I forgot to say Mike's pick with the Colts. But we'll get back to that. Mike is a believer in Carson Wentz. We've already said this.
Oh, yeah, I already knew that.
So, but Mike thinks that the Colts are going to be a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Mike says that the defense can be had. You know how he says that. The Titans' defense, they can be had. Right? So that's what Mike said, and I agree with him.
Yeah.
Because that's been the issue. This is a team that's coached by a defensive mastermind, if you want to call it, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
And this defense has been garbage. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, no, it has. And I totally agree with that statement. I think what really helps the Titans is their ability to control the clock because they have one of the best running backs in the game.
They're going to need it.
Exactly.
That's their recipe.
That's
time of possession.
That's gonna be their success.
The ability to score. Other than that, like, this is a team that traditionally has relied on defense, and they've been very weak there, and I don't think they did nearly enough. They
drafted Farley.
Yeah, but look at the risk that comes along with him.
I know.
They're hoping that, I mean, look, Malcolm Butler was a bust, but like Adoree Jackson is a good corner. They let him walk.
Yeah, I know.
Like
they're
clearing out the whole room, and then you're expecting an injury-prone guy coming off of back surgery to step in and be your number one corner, who I like a lot. I like him a lot talent-wise, but that's a big ask.
Yeah.
And you don't know if he's going to start week 1.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
It's definitely their defense is a concern. But like I said, their ability to run the football, I think that kind of saves them in a way,
So we think that they're a playoff team, right? Do we think that?
I definitely do. I mean, I don't see how they're not.
I mean, we'll talk about division winners
Yeah.
shortly, but like, I'm thinking that they got to be a playoff team.
Yeah, no, I do think so.
I'm pretty sure Mike said the same. Hold on one sec. Let me check his notes. Yeah, Mike thinks the same.
All right.
But we'll talk about the division winner.
He took a night off of sour. Good for him.
God bless. So that's the Titans for you. We got to move on. Actually, here we go again. I got some more cards for you.
Let's go, baby. Oh yeah.
I got something for you,
That's
and this is we're talking about Derrick Henry here. Let me just say it, all right? Let me just say it. Better buy before the season. Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey, who we'll be talking about later in the show, but better buy before the season. CMC or Derrick Henry? Tell me, Nick. I need to know this.
Man,
let's talk about it.
This is tough, right? Because I think cards are predicated on team success as well, right?
Yeah.
And what's intriguing about Christian McCaffrey, he's pretty much going number 1 in all the fantasy options
so far,
drafts.
Maybe
pretty much the undisputed number 1.
Maybe not in non-PPR, but PPR he seems to be going number 1.
Yeah, like if anything,
it really depends. Like there's some people that are a little nervous about him after last year, which I don't know how you could be. We'll talk about that later, but go ahead, continue your point.
Yeah. So CMC's 2017 Panini Prism Silver is going for $320 a PSA 10, right?
Okay.
Derrick Henry's 2016 Panini Prism Silver Prism is going for $590.
Wow.
So, okay. So, a better buy. Like, what does Derrick Henry got to do for his price to increase? Like, he already rushed for 2,000 yards, right? And I think CMC, people are skeptical of investing in him because of his injury last year. So a better buy before the season, I would probably go McCaffrey. I think there's wiggle room because if Derrick Henry's the bar at 590 and McCaffrey has another crazy season where he's catching 90 passes or whatever, rushing for 1,600 yards.
Could be 2,000 total yards overall.
Right. And
20-plus touchdowns maybe.
And he's flashy. So, like, I would go CMC. I would.
I kind of feel the same way, Nick, because you know what? Like, I mean, the talent's off the charts for both of them, and they both could shatter records. That's how good they are.
Mm-hmm. And Derrick Henry's like a one-trick pony. Like, he just rushes. Like, he doesn't really catch the ball. Like, he's a beast. Don't get me wrong. He'll fucking stiff arm grown men to the ground, and that's fucking awesome. And like
King Henry.
Yeah,
Look
exactly. Out. But if Henry's at 590 and McCaffrey's at 320, like, I see like growth there for McCaffrey.
Right. I'm right there with you. I would probably buy him too because
I would go McCaffrey on that one.
It's all about the value.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's cheaper. If all other things are equal, and he's cheaper, give me CMC.
And he's had a great career up to his injury. So like I don't see him slowing down. I think he's going to come back stronger. I think he's going to play really well, and I think it's going to go up during the season.
And this scheme that he's in, well, you know what? I'll save this for later. I don't want to say it. I'll save it for when we talk about them in the next 15-ish